Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking exactly how to optimize your internal workflows so they actually match the incredible race car-like development speed of OutSystems. We're going to be clarifying this entire methodology, spanning the complete project lifecycle from scenario 0 right through to 7, all to help you realize business value just as fast as your technology allows. Let's get into it.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty crucial question. If OutSystems lets you build software at the speed of a high-performance race car, can you still use the rules of a bicycle to drive it? You might be wondering if you can just plug your current project methodology, like basic Scrum, right, into an OutSystems project. Well, the short answer is yes, you totally can. But here's the catch. You probably won't realize business value at the sheer speed the platform is actually capable of delivering.
Bridging that gap really comes down to two specific changes to a standard Agile approach: modifications and adaptations. Now, modifications basically mean rethinking your team roles and responsibilities so you can balance high-speed delivery with customer expectations. Adaptations, on the other hand, they're all about avoiding risks. Think about it. With slower tech, you can kind of absorb delays from things like tricky integrations or team misalignments. But with OutSystems, those same delays will absolutely derail your speed. To see how this high-speed engine actually works, we're going to walk through a quick roadmap of this methodology today, broken down into 5 main areas: why adopt your methodology, frameworks and solid governance, empowering people and alignment, fueling the development engine, and ensuring quality and improvement. All right, kicking things off with area number 1, why adopt your methodology? Here is the harsh truth, folks. The sheer speed of OutSystems is a bit of a double-edged sword. It literally allows a team to drive in the wrong direction just as fast as the right one. That's exactly why your methodology desperately needs an upgrade. Yes, it takes time to shift how an entire organization works, but honestly, doing so is the only way to ensure the lightning-fast value you're building is actually what the business needs in the end.
Which brings us nicely to establishing the track and the rules for our race car in Section 2. Frameworks, and solid governance. Whether you're a pure Agile fan or you use Kanban, DevOps, or even a hybrid approach, having solid governance is absolutely non-negotiable. What matters most here is having a rock-solid definition of ready. That means every single requirement is fully understood and completely actionable before development even starts. You also have to manage dependencies super early, so you aren't just sitting around waiting on external teams, and you really need to rely on a Scrum Master to ruthlessly eliminate any roadblocks in your way.
Moving right along to our next dimensions, let's look at the pit crew and the driver's vision in Section 3, empowering people and alignment.
Because development happens so remarkably fast, OutSystems teams actually look a bit different. They tend to be leaner, smaller, and highly specialized. For most projects, just 2 developers guided by a tech lead is kind of the sweet spot. The real secret is balancing those developers with business analysts, who manage the quality of the user stories. You're basically building a precision pit crew here, bringing in architects for heavy complexity or UX designers for pixel-perfect consumer apps only when you actually need them.
But you know what? All that specialized talent means absolutely nothing without a shared vision. To quote the source material directly, alignment is a catalyst for speed. If your stakeholders aren't perfectly aligned on the strategy and timeline, you're going to burn massive amounts of energy just trying to leave the starting line. Total alignment is what prevents the nightmare of duplicate work and costly, time-consuming refactoring. And the product owner is your ultimate navigator for this. They has to maintain a direct line to the business sponsor and your key users. Their whole job is to ensure the development team doesn't waste precious time working on the wrong requirements. By quickly resolving questions, prioritizing the right user stories, and expediting risk mitigation, the product owner keeps the entire project moving fast and heading in the exact right direction. Okay, now that we have our team and our rules sorted out, let's hit Section 4, fueling the development engine. Think of your backlog as quite literally the fuel for this entire process. You absolutely need a buffer of about 1 to 2 months worth of ready user stories just to keep the tank full. If it runs dry, your project stalls out. The sources even recommend using frameworks like Gherkin, which is basically just a simple, plain text way to describe features. It's awesome because it hands developers clear expected test scenarios right from the starting line, accelerating your whole QA process. When it's maintained well, that backlog becomes the backbone of an incredibly efficient assembly line. You move so smoothly from inception and shaping, where ideas actually get formed, into actionable stories, straight on through development, testing, acceptance, and finally, closure. When every single stakeholder knows their exact role in this pipeline, literally nothing can slow down your momentum. And finally, we arrive at our last dimensions in Section 5, ensuring quality and improvement.
Think of these as our essential safety checks and the continuous fine-tuning of our engine. I genuinely love this thought from the source material. It's so true, right? To avoid missing quality, you must have a solid quality plan agreed upon right out of the gate. And here's the real secret weapon. Your QA team has to be involved from the very beginning of the project, not just tagged on at the end. They should be designing test cases while the stories are actively being implemented. This bakes quality in early and prevents a massive project stalling backlog of defects when you're trying to cross the finish line. Then comes the continuous improvement loop. Just like a real race car, the perfect app isn't built in a single lap. By releasing frequently and running regular demos, you capture continuous, real-time feedback from your business users. Combine this with retrospectives, where the team actually pauses to frankly discuss what's working and what isn't, and you build a culture that constantly fine-tunes itself for the very next race. All right, before we finish up this explainer, let's do a quick quiz based directly on the final module of the source material. Think about this for a second. What project dynamic requires continuous, but not full-time engagement? If you guessed the timely and iterative feedback of the business team, you absolutely nailed it. They don't need to be sitting in the room 24/7, but their consistent, iterative feedback is exactly what helps you avoid decision-making delays and keeps the car firmly on the track. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. OutSystems gives you unprecedented, race car-level speed, but as we've learned today, you can drive just as fast in the wrong direction as in the right one. It is entirely up to your methodology, your team alignment, and your governance to ensure you cross the right finish line. So ask yourself today, is your internal engine truly aligned to handle the speed of your technology?